Jamie, we talk a lot about the American Express Platinum card and the Chase Sapphire Reserve card and a lot of other credit cards on this podcast, but there's a new card out there, the Citi Strata Elite, that also waives fees for U.S. military spouses, Guard and Reserve on 30-plus day orders, also known as covered borrowers of the Military Lending Act, and you happen to just pick up the card.
Yeah, I used to be a Citi hater. So our longtime listeners will know that I've had some run-ins with Citi in the past. And by run-ins, I mean they didn't want to waive my fees as easily as the other banks did. But I have good news for you. And we have a lot of data points from people reaching out to us on Instagram at Military Money Manual or via email, podcast@militarymoneymanual.com. And what I just experienced as I opened the card in August of 2025, I met my spending requirement, which at the time of the recording, what I got was $4,000 spending requirement. A couple weeks later in September of 2025. And then when my first statement closed, they charged the annual fee same day. They refunded the annual fee on the date that my statement closed. So first statement closed, automatically waived the annual fee. I didn't have to send in any emails requesting MLA benefits. I didn't have to play any games with my closing statement balance or anything like that. So I'm intrigued if we're turning a new page in the relationship between Jamie and Citi. But I'm a fan of it, and I like this card, and I'm excited to share a little bit about why I like it so far.
Yeah, I hope we're on a new chapter of the Jamie-Citi relationship, and it can be a beautiful friendship going forward. So Citi used to be kind of like the tricky one, and people would reach out to me and say, Spencer, I understand American Express, it's automatic. As long as you're in the MLA database, Military Lending Act database, I'm going to get my annual fees waived. My spouse is going to get his or her annual fee waived. For Chase, same thing, super easy. Citi was a little bit trickier, though. There was kind of this dance you had to do where some people thought that you had to take the annual fee, divide it by 0.36, so 36%, and then make sure that the statement closed with at least that much, but not more than. It was this like bizarre formula you had to work out. Anyways, I just want to assure the listener, it doesn't appear that that's true anymore on these high annual fee cards. If it's a lower annual fee, like a $95 card, this was on like the Citi Premier card, then maybe you had to play those games. But on the Citi Strata Elite, at least, this is the new card from Citi, $595 annual fee. And it looks like it's basically an automatic annual fee waiver. Same with the authorized user as well. And same for active duty, Guard Reserve and 30-plus day orders, Title 10, Title 32, or military spouses who are properly listed in DEERS. And again, check the MLA database before you apply for the card, especially if you've never gotten an annual fee waiver from Citi before, and that'll just clear up so many potential issues.
Spencer, let me share a little bit about how I've been able to use this card already. One of my favorite benefits that is unique to this card, I'm not aware of any other cards that have this, it has a $200 annual Splurge credit. And there's companies, First Dibs, Best Buy, American Airlines, Fiture Personal Training, or Live Nation / Ticketmaster, same company. But for Live Nation, you can buy concert tickets at $200 a year, and it's reimbursed on Ticketmaster or Live Nation. You can go get something at Best Buy, automatically reimbursed your first $200 per calendar year. I had a amazing government TDY, had this classic American Airlines government fare, middle seat in the back of the plane, and I couldn't get anything better. So I used some of my Splurge credit to get a better seat towards the front. And by a better seat, I mean I had 4 inches instead of 2 inches of legroom. I used the rest of it on Ticketmaster to take my girls to a musical in town. So very easy to switch it around. It's not like the American Express airline credit where you can only switch it in January and it's kind of hard to switch it around. You can log in and the next day or the same day, read the terms and conditions, but the next day you can use your new selection for the Splurge credit. So pretty exciting, pretty easy benefit to use. Any military family would be able to use $200 at Best Buy or Ticketmaster each year.
Definitely. Yeah, I've heard of some people too, and I wouldn't necessarily condone this, but they'll buy tickets on Ticketmaster or Live Nation for $200 and then just turn around and resell them for $150. And so that's one way to turn the credit into cash. I wouldn't necessarily do that. It seems like a lot of work, but you could. There's nothing, I don't think there's anything in the terms and conditions preventing you from doing something like that. For a limited time right now, the Citi Strata Elite is doing 100,000 bonus points after spending $6,000 in the first 3 months. So that's $2,000 a month. That's a decently high hurdle for some military families. So as we always talk about when we talk about credit cards, these are tools, not toys. So make sure that you understand how to use a credit card, how to pay off the entire balance when you get the statement. Treat it like a debit card. If you don't have the cash in your checking account to make the transaction, don't buy it. Credit card debt is not acceptable. If you have any credit card debt, you have to stop listening to this episode right now. And we have no way of enforcing that, but please go fix your credit card debt. We have lots of good episodes about getting out of debt and fixing credit card debt. And once you have put your financial house in order, this is a more advanced strategy that you can play. On this card, you can get 12 points per dollar spent on hotels, car rentals, and attractions, but you have to book it through cititravel.com. And then air travel is 6 points per dollar spent. So technically, that's a higher bar than the American Express Platinum card, which is 5x points, 5x membership reward points per dollar spent. But the nice thing about the Amex Platinum card is you can book directly with the airline, which I always encourage you to do, unless there's some reason why you have to book through a travel portal, because it just makes everything so much easier when you're dealing with the airline if you have to cancel or reschedule a flight. You can also get 6 points per dollar spent at restaurants. But that's only during restaurant delivery services on Citi Nights, which is a special benefit. Jamie, have you used that yet?
It's so dumb. And this is not one that is worth your squeeze, because it's 3x for restaurants at any normal time. But they have this Friday and Saturday evening from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Eastern time. And I was like, I'm not going to worry about that. So use it for restaurants if you want. If you have the Amex Gold card, earns 4x. Other cards like the Citi Prestige, I think that one's 5x. So don't go out of your way to go out to eat Friday, Saturday night between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. just to earn 6x points. But yeah, Citi Nights is dumb, I think.
Yeah, you also get $300 annual hotel benefits. So if you book 2 nights or more through cititravel.com each calendar year, you can get a $300 credit back on your statement. Very similar to the Fine Hotels and Resort credit, Jamie. I'm assuming that it's a little bit more flexible to use because you're not limited to Fine Hotels and Resorts or the hotel collection. So you could probably just find like a standard Hilton, Marriott, IHG, Hyatt through cititravel.com. You could probably find some that are even $150 a night, book 2 nights, and boom, you just get $300 travel credit right back on your statement.
Yeah, and one of the things that's good about this card is it's easy to track the benefits because they're all calendar year, whereas other cards, some of them are anniversary year, some of them are quarterly, some of them are monthly, some of them are semi-annually. I think at least all the major ones appear to be all calendar year, which just makes it really easy to track.
What are you doing these days to track your benefits, Jamie? I've just resorted to kind of focusing on like the big benefits. So for me, it's like FHR, Fine Hotels and Resorts on my Amex Platinum, the $300 travel credit on the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I don't bother tracking that because I know that I'm going to end up using my Chase Sapphire Reserve for travel at some point during the year, hotels and flights. And then the Lululemon credit, I'm tracking that. Saks credit, I'm tracking that. Oh, and the Resi credit. Those are kind of the big ones that I'm tracking. And then after that, I'm kind of happy to just let some of the credits expire. But I know that that's going to, for our optimizers out there, it's going to cause some people to start twitching, scratching their skin.
I do have a spreadsheet that has like basically every benefit. Some months we're better at devoting a couple minutes to checking them off than others. I think one of the apps I've used and I've talked about in the past is an app called Max Rewards. And I'll drop a personal referral in the show notes for those interested in trying the premium version. You can track your offers. You can track all your points you have at all your various banks. And like my wife and I, we have it both linked to the app so I can see all of our benefits across. And it supposedly automatically tracks what's been used. And it does a pretty good job. It is a little bit delayed and sometimes it does mess up. But like just opening it, it knows that I used my $100 quarterly Resi credit already. It knows that I used my $200 semi-annual Hilton Resort credit. So it automatically tracks those, which is helpful. But I think a spreadsheet's still going to be the best. But it also tracks all your offers, like, spend $50 at Best Buy and get $5 credit, those kind of things as well. But so Max Rewards is probably the one if you want to pay for it and you don't want to do Excel or Google Docs.
You also get 4 Admiral Club Citi Strata Elite passes. So you can access American Airlines Admirals Club when you're flying on American Airlines that day. I think that's a pretty good benefit. If you fly American Airlines a couple times a year, that's just going to give you a little bit, another lounge access, but you probably already have Priority Pass and you probably already have the MX Centurion lounge access, Chase Sapphire Reserve lounge access, the Capital One lounge access. So like, I don't know, at some point, like all these lounges, I'll be honest, I'm getting a little sick of them. And my favorite thing to do in the airport these days is like go to an actual restaurant and just order food and then sit in, especially because most of the restaurants are like empty. Everybody's in the lounge. So I think restaurants are the new lounges of 2026. Mark my words.
Hot take.
Hot take. You also get the global entry and TSA pre-check application fee credit up to $120. That's the new price that's gone up. That's pretty much standard across all the premium cards. So once you've got yours, once you've got your spouses, once you've got your kids set up, I don't know, start like dishing them out to their family members if you really want to get crazy. But it's only $120. So I feel like if anybody travels internationally, that's just, even if you travel once or twice in the next 5 years internationally, get global entry. It saves you so much time. You also have no foreign transaction fees, which is, again, standard across like Chase Sapphire Reserve, Amex Platinum. But yeah, I think the big military benefit there, Jamie, $595 annual fee waiver. And they had an interesting note on your account statement.
Yeah, so when my first account statement closed for the month, it had a message on, I think it was page 2 of the statement. And it said, in the transaction detail, you'll see an MLA fee credit adjustment. Depending on the activity in a billing cycle, we may adjust certain fees and or interest charges for a covered borrower under the Military Lending Act. So unlike Chase, I didn't get a letter in the mail saying I was a covered borrower. So this was really the first confirmation is the day my statement closed. I saw the fee, I saw it refunded. And then in the PDF version of the statement, I saw that note. So it's kind of good to see the confirmation and that the process is working a little more automatic for them now.
I don't know. What else about this card, Jamie? Transfer partners, American Airlines is a good one. You go to Emirates, Etihad, Cathay Pacific. I mean, a lot of these names, I kind of recognized before. I don't know. Is anybody transferring points to Wyndham Rewards? Like, is there any value?
I can't imagine so.
I wonder what their nicest hotel is. That might have to be a mystery we'll solve a different day.
Or maybe it's just something we never find out, and that's okay too. There's a couple other benefits on here, like review all your cards for extended warranty and purchase protection and trip delay. This one has secondary rental car insurance. So I still think the Chase Sapphire Reserve is your best bet for personal rental cars because it comes with the primary rental car insurance, which is great. It also has a couple other random things like Black Lane is like a black car service, $200 a year for that. I tried to look it up and it looks like it's mostly in big cities. So if you're going TDY somewhere on vacation, then maybe that's a benefit for you, but it's not available in my hometown. But Citi points are pretty good. Citi thank you points are good. So far, I'm a fan of the card and I'm looking forward to many more automatic fee waivers from Citi in the future, I hope.
Really nice. Speaking of that Black Lane credit, that's something I actually did use when I was traveling to New York City earlier this year. I booked a Black Lane before rather than just an Uber when I showed up. It's pretty much like an Uber Black. It's a nice car. Driver's wearing a suit. Makes me feel bad for like schlepping it around in athleisure wear. But it
with your
was a nice
Lululemon pants.
Yeah, exactly. My entire Lululemon outfit.
Are they standing at baggage claim with like a sign for you, or they just meet you curbside? How fancy is it?
Standing at the baggage claim with the sign for you, that level of fancy, except I was flying into JFK, which I don't know if you've been to recently, but it is a war zone of construction right now. And he had to wait in the car because there wasn't space for him basically at the baggage claim. But if you go into like any other airport, and I've used Black Lane in the Middle East, in New Zealand, Germany, I used it a couple times. So I really like it. I think it can be comparable and sometimes it can be even cheaper than Uber. And it's nice to they track your flight and your clock doesn't start until your plane lands. And then you still have an hour grace period after that. So for me who I'm always stressing out, I don't want to make anybody wait for me. I actually quite like it because they have to wait for me.
And Spencer, did you mention the current welcome offer on this card as of now, at least?
So I think you got the 80,000 point offer, Jamie. But hey, if you're listening to this podcast and it's still available, 100,000 thank you points after spending $6,000 in the first 3 months. That's the current offer. You can head over to militarymoneymanual.com and check out the latest offer, or just Google Citi Strata Elite Military, and Military Money Manual should pop up.
And we appreciate you asking because I know some of you will. However, we currently do not have any referral as of the time of this recording for this card. So whatever you can find, there's no refer a friend or anything like that available right now.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the Military Money Manual podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. This helps others find the show, and we really appreciate it. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
The views and opinions presented here are those of the speakers and do not necessarily represent the views of the DoD or its components. Reference to any commercial products or services does not constitute DoD endorsement of those products or services.